Edge of Discovery is sponsored by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. Go to cnn.com/edge to see more on these innovators and how their ideas are impacting the world.
Tired of technology that only gives your fingers a workout?
Good morning, Steelcase. This is Glenda.
Check out the Walk Station, office equipment that's thinking outside the cubicle.
The reaction has been like nothing that I've seen in our industry in 30 years.
The $4,000 Walk Station is the brainchild of Dr. James Levine of the Mayo Clinic.
What we found was that people with obesity have a tendency to be seated 2.5 hours per day more than lean individuals.
It's a desk, a computer, and a slow-moving treadmill all rolled into one, so you stay moving all day long. Enough to burn about 150 calories an hour.
This is not intended for you to get your heart rate up and start sweating.
But once you get going, there's no slowing down.
Once you start working and walking, what then happens is you go back to your desk and you start doing emails and you think to yourself, you know, I'd rather be walking.
Walk Station is happy with its success so far. They've sold more than 600 units, but they'll have to take revolutionizing the way we work one step at a time. Kira Phillips, CNN.
You want to know something? I asked our executive producer just this morning if I could get one of those, and she said, what? 39 minutes now after the hour. Time to fast forward to some of the stories we will be hearing about on CNN today. We'll be watching for a cruise ship full of stranded tourists to get back underway after it ran aground in Antarctica. Wasn't quite Ernest Shackleton in the Endurance, though. The Ocean Nova is carrying 105 people, including 21 Americans. They're on a trip exploring the polar circle. The cruise company says the ship was pushed into rocks by high winds. Right now, severe weather moving through the south, capable of producing tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds also in the forecast. We'll be tracking all the action, and we'll keep you posted if anything develops on it. And emergency personnel who did yeoman's work responding to the U.S. Airways plane that landed in the Hudson River are being recognized today. They'll be honored at an afternoon ceremony attended by Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano and the head of the Coast Guard, Admiral Thad Allen. And Karen, that's what's making news later on.
You don't really
today.
want one of those treadmills.
You
can burn more calories walking back and forth on this
I want a treadmill desk. I can burn calories walking back and forth on the set or climbing up and down the one flight of stairs that we have access to in this building, but you can't do work while you're doing that. So I want a treadmill desk.
If you have your BlackBerry in your hand, you can.
Can I have one, Mom? Can I please?
We'll have to see. If you're a good boy, maybe you'll get one for Christmas. Well, former President Clinton is opening up about President Obama's much talked about BlackBerry addiction. And although Mr. Clinton is not one of the privileged few with President Obama's super secret email address, really, wow, he would have said he had it. He told CNN's Larry King that he is glad the president has a way to keep in touch with close friends.
The fact that he got one that is secure and sort of off the books is good, because every president needs some way of communicating with people who know you personally and are outside the loop, who can say what my friends from Arkansas said. Back in the Stone Age, when I became president and the average cell phone weighed 5 pounds and there were only 50 sites on the internet, I got a separate zip code and gave it to 50 people from Arkansas. And so they knew their letters would always get to me. And they'd say, you look like an idiot doing this, that, or the other thing. You know, people that grew up with you, that care about you, but don't have to pretend because you're president, are very important. So I'm glad he's got some way of letting the people he cares about communicate directly with him. And I also think it speeds up, and therefore his communication makes it more efficient.
So Hillary's got her BlackBerry.
How times have changed. So he had his own separate zip code that he gave to a few trusted friends. Very interesting. And now our president, Barack Obama, has a BlackBerry.
Yeah, he's got not only his own zip code, but his own PIN, his own email address, all of that. But it's really, you know, striking when President Clinton says average cell phone was 5 pounds. Remember those ones?
Yes.
That had the big battery on the bottom.
And you carried it with you.
They worked really well, though, because they were powerful. Brand new this morning, 911 tapes coming out for that chimp attack in Connecticut. We're going to have them, and you'll hear just how scary it was for police and for the woman who owned the animal. Plus, some eyebrow-raising lessons in Georgia's public universities causing an uproar. Should taxpayer dollars go to classes about oral sex and male prostitution? The sex ed showdown just ahead. It's 42 minutes now after the hour.